How important is it to understand all the different facets of poverty in order to be able to address it properly?
Yes, fighting poverty, it's exactly not only a question of money. Money and financing the fight against poverty, of course, is fundamental, very important, but that's not all. Not all. When we speak about fighting poverty, of course, there is obligations that developed states have. There are compromises that they are not accomplishing. Several years ago was adopted the 0.7% of the PIB that the developed states has to contribute to developing, and it's not accomplished by them. No? But that's one thing. Then financing for fighting poverty should come from several sources. But you saw my speech that we said that we have in our countries the sufficient resources to do it, financial resources, but those resources are going to finance the developed country, and not vice versa. The question of illicit flows, of tax evasion, of tax havens, is a real issue in the present world, and that's a phenomenon that developed countries take resources from developing countries in order to finance their development and not vice versa, not fighting the poverty. Then that's an issue that has to be tackled with priority. The elimination of tax havens and to have the money which is produced in developing countries to finance our own development.
And we've seen it in just a couple of years ago with the Panama Papers investigation of how widespread what you're talking about is, and the lack of commitment from countries to chase it up. I don't know in Ecuador, but particularly in Mexico, nothing really came from it. Everyone just said, yes, it's happening, but...
Yeah, the Panama Papers publishing, and it was a good thing that happened to widespread what was going on. Already we knew that. No, we know that, and what's said in the Panama Papers is not all. Then it's the sad situation that developing countries are deprived of their own resources, their own money, and because of the illicit ways to do it, this money, which belongs to us, go to finance the development of developed states. That will not be so, and we have started a real big battle on that. It's not easy. We want a first step. It's at least in the UN to create a body, an intergovernmental body, that to discuss the issue. And even that's not possible yet. That shows you the importance, how power politics of power, of money, it's imposing politics to the rest.
Do you think events like this, where you bring together the finance sector and the UN and NGO sector, will help push that forward?
That's the purpose, no? To make the private sector understand what's going on. They live in another world. No? They are doing, of course, what they are supposed to do. They develop things, they make money, they finance projects to have revenue on that. But that's one thing. We, governments, we have the responsibility with our people. And events like that help us to make private sector to understand that if we don't have the world with peace, a world with justice, they will not be able to continue doing business because the disaster will be complete. And if we don't eliminate poverty, if we don't eliminate hunger, and we don't eliminate inequality, no, they will not have in the near future possibilities to do business, because the world will be in a chaos that will not. That's the thing that they will have to understand, and of course, no, putting together NGOs, governments, private sector, academic, no, help to create a consensus of what the next steps have to do.